women, thank you so much for tuning in and watching another episode of A Message of Hope. I'm your host, Christina Lockett. I am excited, I am thrilled and honored to have a very special guest with us on today. She is an awesome woman of God. She is an author. She is a coach, a former military person. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Jacque Colbert.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
You know what? You are author. But before we start talking about the book, Corporate Sisterhood, the Ultimate Power Prescription for Every Working Woman. And I love the cover because all different types of women, diverse women, working women. But before we go into the book, I actually would love to talk a little bit about your personal testimony. And I want to share with everyone, for the start of 2016, I believe, I specifically prayed and I asked God for divine connections. I prayed, God, bless me with divine connections. And not just for ministry or work or anything like that. I just said divine connections. And so I actually want to share with the audience that I met you on social media, on Instagram. But the funny part is, that's why I'm smiling so big, she just got on there about 6 months, right?
6 months ago.
Yeah, well, share a little bit about that.
So, I've never been on social media before. I started doing Instagram and Facebook about 6 months ago, and I was almost forced into doing it because I talked to a friend of mine, and she said, when I shared with her that I wanted to write this book that was based on my body of work for my doctoral dissertation, and I said, I'm going to write this book in 3 months. She kind of looked at me as though I was crazy, and I said, okay, you don't know me. When I'm told no, that means yes, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
However, in addition to the book, it was also about being a life coach and various things that I was doing. So her point was, there's a message that you have that you need to get out via social media and share with others. But besides the book and what I do from a coaching perspective, your question to me was, what's really my story behind all of those things? And the book was actually born out of it because I'm a cancer survivor. In 2008, when I was going to school to earn my doctoral degree, out of nowhere, I was in peak physical shape. I'm ex-military, so I was doing boot camp, teaching Zumba classes, and all types of crazy stuff. And after a clean bill of health from my doctor, about a week after, I felt a lump in my breast. And so one would easily think, okay, she's tripping. I'm just keeping it real. I called my doctor. She said, no, I checked you. I know you're working on your doctor thing, but I'm a medical doctor.
Right.
You don't feel anything in your breast. Long story short, fast forward, it was indeed cancerous, and I went through a year of chemo and radiation. And when I went through that, what ended up happening is being a single mother at the time and not having any family members who lived in the state of Texas, I had 3 wonderful friends at my job. At that time, I worked at Dell Computers. I'd been at Dell for over several years and spent 10 years at Dell. They just really kind of mobilized the sisterhood, is what I'm calling it. And, just everybody showed up saying, look, whatever you need, whether it was prayer, food, taking your daughter somewhere, picking her up, if you just need me to come and sit with you as you breathe, I will be there for you.
That's good. Sisterhood.
So what I found over time is that just the show of extreme love from Darlene, Donita, and Angela just really helped me to be able to take 2 weeks off of work, went back to school full time, graduated on time. My daughter graduated a year ahead of schedule, and I even got promoted at my job. So I started doing my research about the true value of when we say, am I my sister's keeper? It goes beyond that. It's just not, am I my sister's keeper? And yes, I am. It's, I am my sister because I see you.
Love it.
That's what it's about. So that's a part of my history. There's so many other things. Sometimes on social media when people say, well, who are you? I say, I'm actually a lot of things.
And most women are.
Exactly.
Most women are.
Exactly.
Talk about your military experience.
So, there's probably a little raven, blackbird in me. My daughter's name is Raven, but maybe I am that raven in that many years ago, living in Brooklyn, New York, my idea and my mindset was, let me go to college full time, and then I'll do something such as becoming a nurse or a teacher. But I felt that New York was a little bit too small for me. Imagine that. I want to go off and be all that I could be. So
Really?
against my parents' wishes, I joined the Army without telling them.
Oh, wow.
Best decision I've ever made for my life. Went off to the Army, got to see the world, spent 14 months in Korea, lived in several different states, and just really was able to harness all of my leadership capabilities. And I think that was the thing that really put me on a trajectory from a leadership perspective.
That's awesome.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes, well, thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you.
We don't take it for granted, the people who make that sacrifice. Because we know everyone can't do it, but somebody has to do it.
True.
For the type of country that we live in, we need someone that's willing to step up and say, I'll do it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you know what? And now you're doing so much more with your life. You blessed us in that way, but now you're blessing everyone with this book. Yes. So now let's talk about the book.
Yes. So in 2008, as I mentioned, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I started not initially thinking that I would do my dissertation work about sisterhood, because I had to be honest with me first and say, I don't know if a board will allow me to write something about women and sisterhood in the workplace and let me go beyond it. But what I quickly learned was there's a deep connection between having friendships and sisterly relationships or strong networks at work.
Okay.
Because the sisterhood or a strong network was seen as a corporate asset. And as an HR director at Dell, what I quickly learned is that when you feel that you have people who you connect with in the workplace, not only do you feel better about the job that you do on those days where you feel like, oh my God, they're driving me crazy, I just want to jump.
Yes.
You're calling on that girlfriend and she's going, girl, bring it down.
Yes.
Bring it down.
I've experienced that as a school teacher.
Exactly. So those were the things that I was finding out. But at the same time, guess what happens? Guess who also wins?
Mm-hmm.
The company wins because they are able to retain top employees.
That's the difference.
So corporate sisterhood is about a corporate asset. And by design, I made it to be a per-size, short, quick read. Mm-hmm. Why? We've got too much stuff that we're dealing with already. Mm-hmm. Every book is big, and I'm not suggesting that every big book is the wrong book to read. Mm-hmm. As it relates to this book is dedicated to every working woman, whether you're working. Corporate sisterhood is the corporate part of it is defined loosely. A corporation could be a church. It could be a book club that we're in. It's any body where we're gathering together. And so what I talk about in my book are a couple of key things that can really help you to soar on whatever part of the ladder that you're on in life. Okay. I talk about the importance of, becoming your own HR manager, knowing who your sheroes and your heroes are, and not just admiring them just because sometimes we just look at physical images and we mm-hmm. think that that's what is to be admired. Mm-hmm. I talk about the fact that it has to be deeper. There's also a chapter in this book that's dedicated to the men and making sure that they understand the causes of women and how they can help us to progress those causes. But at the same time, I'm keen on calling out all of the men. And believe you me, in my life, every promotion that I've received came from a guy.
Well, they're the majority in corporate America.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So there are several key things that are in here that whether you are new coming into the workforce, you are a mid-career manager, or you're in a church sector, because I've met with people who are in synagogues and churches, this book is really helpful to you as you soar in understanding several key things that you can leverage to become better as a corporate sister, but also if you wanted to help yourself.
That's good, because we do know that the numbers are steady rising for women who are now entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
You know, have you had the opportunity to work with someone through your coaching business?
I have. In fact, one of my coaching clients today is an entrepreneur, and she got out of the batting cage, is what I'm going to call it. With a start, she was swinging. Then she ran into some challenges, and on one hand, you could say, wow, such is life. We do have challenges that will come by in life, but there's some things that I've learned in being in the military, working for companies such as T-Mobile, as well as, working at Dow and then in oil and gas. And truth of the matter is, dealing with the hard knocks of life, stuff happens. And so we, not me by myself, by God's good grace, He's allowed me to have certain key experiences that I'm able to share with my coaching clients. That's just not based upon academic stuff that I've done in school.
Yes.
It's real life stuff.
Yes.
So yes, but I'm loving what I'm seeing about the resurgence of the female entrepreneur, not to marginalize men by any means necessary, but I love what women are doing today, and especially what I see with women of color and with all women, because corporate sisterhood has no color for me.
That's the truth. That's the truth, because you find that when we're working together, most places are diverse.
True.
But you will begin to build a sisterhood with different people.
Yes.
And I love what you're saying about this corporate sisterhood. I love it. I never would have thought that someone would put together a book like this.
Yeah. And I didn't do it by myself, Christina.
Okay.
Honestly, I did. There hasn't been anything that has happened in my life that God wasn't all over in the mix of it. One of the things that God is really good at telling me to do is be quiet and go to sleep.
Let Him handle it.
Yes.
Yes.
Because sometimes we just want to stay up all night and think that working 24 hours a day is going to do it. And He reminds me, hello, me, the man in His infinite wisdom who took a day to rest.
Yes.
If you just shut those cells down and get some turnover, you're going to come up with the answer that you need to. So when I was struggling with what the name of the book should be, He said, go to sleep.
Really?
And I went to sleep.
Yes.
Being obedient.
Yes.
And boom, I said, oh my God, I'm going to call it corporate sisterhood. It's stuck.
And I mean, it's really it's catching, and I think the cover makes it all come together, because this represents the women of America.
Yes.
Women all over the world.
That's right.
I do want to share with the audience that you are not only a coach, but you actually speak. And I know that you recently had a workshop, a seminar. I want you to tell everyone about that. I think it would bless them.
So I had a seminar earlier in the summer, and it was one of those things where, okay, Jackie, go to sleep, and you're going to come up with the right idea of what you need to do. And it was called Bag Lady, Let It Go.
Bag Lady.
Yes. It dealt with emotional baggage. And so it was a spin-off of, I've got to give credit to Erykah Badu. So her song talks about Bag Lady.
Yes.
But my spin on Bag Lady was dealing with emotional baggage. And I had to be honest and obedient to God because He had been asking me to speak where appropriate about some of the baggage that I've been carrying myself. Dealing with baggage where, I've been told that, I'm too black, I'm too this, I'm too that. Being in bad relationships and allowing people to treat me less than. When God told me how wonderfully He made me, and I allowed certain things to happen in my life, I had to get to a point where I could no longer blame people for what was happening to me. I had to belly up to the bar and say, okay, look at the mirror and understand that it was about you. And so it was my first event in Pearland. Now, mind you, I've only been here for 3 total years.
In Texas, Pearland, Texas.
And so I had about 40 women who showed up to the event.
Good.
And it was an event that really allowed us to just start bringing the wall down, and not just a wall, but several different walls in and around the room that dealt with emotional baggage. And a lot of it was about generational curses, whereby there was something that happened such a long time ago that somebody was holding on to, such that when they did get into a relationship, it became okay for them to accept less than. And so part of my coaching, I haven't spoken quite a bit about it, but I've spoken, I would say, enough.
Okay.
But I do have coaching clients who come to me and they've said, hey, Dr. Jacque, I'm dealing with such and such and such. And God has allowed me, by being obedient, to now say, I see you. I understand where you're coming from. No, I don't have every single problem that every person has.
Yes.
But there's relatability when it comes to baggage. And I think that we ought to get to a point today where shame needs to go out the window.
Yes. Say that again.
Shame has got to go
Yes.
out the window.
Amen, I agree.
And we've got to get to the place where clearly you don't want to go do a big post on social media and say da 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 da, because everybody is not ordained to fix every single situation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the appropriate time, God puts the right people in our path with the right words, the right leadership,
Yes.
the right prayer, the countenance, and the anointing
Yes.
to help us with that which plagues us.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
Amen.
Yes.
The emotional baggage.
Yes.
And we have to begin to let it go.
Absolutely.
And it's hard.
Very.
It's hard.
Very.
So we definitely don't want to make light of it. It is hard, but you can do it.
We can. We
can
can.
do it.
And we do also, I would say, we have to be committed to doing it. You know, it's kind of like, I'm constantly battled with, I love food. I really love food. And there are times when I over-index and I can eat a whole pecan pie. But if I kept eating a whole pecan pie, over time it's going to catch up to me.
Exactly.
So there are certain things that I need to do to be consistent in my habits about that. Or if it's exercising, whatever it is, I can't say I'm just going to go do it one time and that's going to fix the problem. I have to be committed to whatever it is that I'm doing and make it part of my practice. Just like praying to God one time and say, oh gosh, thank you so much. You know, just really heal me from this, what I'm going through, and then leave it alone. Oh no, it's about a relationship with whatever it is that's going on.
Yes, indeed. And we have to keep praying until something happens.
Absolutely.
Push. Operation push. Pray until
Yes.
something happens. You know, I know that you have your coaching business and you speak and travel and so much more is coming forth. But we're still celebrating the new year. We're still celebrating 2017. So I just want you to really kind of look in the camera, and as we go into this year, 2017, well, we're already here. We're already here and celebrating. I know that people are making their New Year resolutions. They're setting goals.
Yes.
They're trying to set a standard that will kind of carry them through the rest of the year. But perhaps they're discouraged, or maybe they want to set the goals and fear is stopping them. For whatever the case is, I just want you to just kind of, as the Holy Spirit leads you, maybe give 3 tips or just words of wisdom or advice as it relates to just 2017, this new year, new start, new beginning.
I would say you have to start by saying that you're worth it. Be purposeful, be intentional. And if there is fear, and when there is fear, I want you to listen to me and come closer. Because fear is false evidence appearing real. And you've got to put it under your feet and stomp it. You've got to mobilize yourself, not with 10 or 20 goals. Start with a couple. And if you've been following me on social media, you would see that I've said, make them smart. That means you just have to make sure that you're specific about it. You're realistic about the goals that you're going after. You can take actions every single day and every week to meet those goals. They are realistic and they're time-bound. Time-bound meaning, okay, I want to, go from point A to point B. I'm going to do it in 90 days. So don't boil the ocean is what I would say. Do a few goals, and when you knock one off the list, victory. Celebrate those small successes. Celebrate them as you go. But be intentional about it and stick to it. Get an accountability partner is what I tell people who I coach all the time. And sometimes when you get an accountability partner, it's a part of saying, you know what, I'm just going to tell somebody what I'm doing, and that way they can keep encouraging you along the way. In my mind, and based upon the Bible that I read, I have to believe that God did not put us here to do life by ourselves. And so it's important that you get into the right places where you can worship, and get into the right places where you can work on your goals with someone who is supportive of you, or others who have some of the same goals as you have. I would argue right now that 2017 needs to be the best year of your life. Yes. Especially if you're looking at me, that means that you made it through 2016. Guess what? You're halfway there.
Yes.
Seize the moment, seize the day, seize the minute, and I'm going to tell you right now, take 2017 by the 2017 and grab it. It's yours.
It's yours. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is yours. So can we expect more books?
Absolutely. I'm just going to be bold about my goals. I am working on an entire corporate brand. Part of it, I've already crafted out corporate baggage. Because there's a flip side to it. And I always come from a place of love first and honesty. Coming from a place of honesty means that I have to speak to the part of corporate sisterhood that's not so good. Because we've got to be truth tellers in saying, look, for as many sisters that there are in the workplace who are supportive and are kind and have no hidden agenda about supporting our cause, there are sisters out there who are not so nice.
The mean girls.
Unfortunately, some of them are carrying baggage.
Yes.
And so we've got to talk about it, because the ultimate goal, my goal with corporate sisterhood, is to elevate the state of sisterhood and inspire. My goal with corporate baggage is to bring light to something that's happening and not sweeping it under the rug. But at the same time, the net result will be that we want to eradicate the bad and bring up the good.
That's wonderful.
Yes. I'm also working on the Corporate Sisterhood Tour, with the first one taking place in February of 2017.
I love it. I love it. So do you plan on going to companies and speaking?
Yes, I am going to a Jewish synagogue the last part of January. That's the first one. And then I have a couple of other speaking engagements that's to come. You know what? I'm believing and saying, I know like I know. I'm going to steal a line from Oprah Winfrey where, you know, in her magazine write-up, she has this thing where she says, what do you know for sure? And I said, what I know for sure is that my God is a big God. So I don't think small. I think big.
Yes.
That's it.
I love it.
Big.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know, that's my goal for 2017. To think big, do big, plan big. You know, recently I had a meeting with some of the team, my team members, for a message of hope for the media ministry. And I said, you know what, we have to think on the same level of Paula White Ministries, Joyce Meyer Ministries, Juanita Bynum Ministries. And I just began to name women in ministry, because that's the level that I want the team to visualize a message of hope. You know, we've accomplished so much in 2 years, but 2017, we're doing it more.
Do it big.
Big. And outreach. Our goal is outreach. We want to give back to women. I have a heart for single mothers, single women. I'm glad that you shared that testimony, that you were once a single mother. We need to encourage one another. And that goes back to a sisterhood as well.
Yes.
You know, and I do believe that God is calling us to really restore that relationship, that sisterhood, you know, because the Bible talks about bearing one another's burdens, you know, praying for one another. And so that has to be restored, because everyone won't be up at the same time. So if you're up and I'm down, pray for me.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're going through something and I know about it, I should try to help you as much as I can. You know, like you mentioned, the sisterhood that you had, you know, if it was just sitting with you, that's more than enough.
They were there.
That's more than enough, you know, because it's not always about money. sometimes just doing something will make a difference. Oh my God. I am so glad that you came on the show, Dr. Jacque.
Likewise. Me too.
So glad that you came on the show. And I'm looking forward to the great things that I know you're going to do.
And I'm also going to be right by your side whenever needed to support you in your cause.
Thank you.
As you work on your platform and spreading a message of hope. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we teased and made fun about you just getting on social media. So share with everyone your social media platform so they can connect with you, because you are, posting upcoming events and functions and things like
Excellent.
that.
Absolutely. So I'm so thankful for the current followers that I have on social media, but should you need to reach me, my website is www.jacque, Jacque, Colbert, COLBERT.com. On Instagram, I'm at Dr. Jacque Colbert. And then on Facebook, it's Dr. Jacque, Jacque Colbert. I do a little bit of Twittering. Don't judge me just yet. I may just need some help, but you can always reach me on Facebook and on Instagram, and just come on in. And thank you so much for your support.
Yes. I'm on Twitter as well, but I'm not on there as much, and as I kind of help people with social media, I'm like, okay, it's good to kind of be on all of them, but find one that you're really good at and that you connect with people with. Facebook is my real connector. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all those social media platforms, but find one, because you can't really do them all.
No.
You can make posts, but find one that you can connect with people and they know that they can get a message or an encouraging word, or, follow you as far as upcoming events and things like that. So that's a good tip. Social media tip, okay?
Yeah.
But thank you so much again for being a guest on the show. I look forward to a great year with you, 2017.
And likewise, we are taking 2017 by the storm.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, be encouraged, everyone. And as you look up Dr. Jacque Colbert, take 2017 by storm. I know that we're still celebrating the new year, and I want you to be excited about this new year. And don't worry about what happened last year. Focus on this year. Focus on the present and look forward to the upcoming year and all the great things that God is going to do for you in your life. I'm your host, Christina Lockett. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, we air every Sunday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And for more inspiration, follow me on my website at www.christinalockett.com. Be blessed.